Hello guys, welcome to the railway. Today we're going to have a bit of a diesel day. And I'll just warn you, I've got a bit of a cold, so my voice is going to sound a little strange. But yes, we've got 7 diesels to show you. One, I suppose, is strictly an electric, but it doesn't fall under the steam category either. So it is all steams today, and I'm showing you all the all the diesel engines I've got, apart from the Triang Railways one that you saw last time, and this weathered Class 25. And that's because I've got an unweathered 25 here, which is DCC. So I'm going to get that running on one line. Right, so just to give you a heads up of what we are going to be running today, it's mostly passenger, but there's the odd exception. We're running the Class 25 first. Lovely engine. Then we're going to be running this warship class. Can't see it too well, but you'll certainly see it later. That's the High Flyer, pulling some lovely blue Pullman coaches. I'm not sure if they are blue Pullman coaches, but when you see them later, you might be able to help me out with that. Then we're going to go in order from the sidings. We've got the 7-piece, I believe it is 1, 2, 5 Intercity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with light. Now this back, the front car has a filament lamp in it, and the back car has an LED, so it is a bit strange. Then we've got the electric, the Intercity in the Swallow livery. That's just a 4-piece. The back car's in the siding. Then we've got a Class 31, I believe, and I think that's the Calder Hall power station. Yes, pulling some lovely GWR coaches. And then we've got the 2-piece DMU. In Regional Railways livery, I believe it is. Well, it's certainly Regional Railways. Lovely, and that's a good runner as well. That's got a light too. And we're just going to try and get them all running. So obviously it's going to be a relatively... Oh, I've forgot one. We got this, number 912. Bit of a... I think it's an American diesel. I don't know. Also lit. Now obviously my speciality is restoration. I'm not much good with bodies, and I realise I sound a bit strange, but I'm much better at tinkering with motors and that than I am with cosmetics. So, you know, I've restored most of these locos to working order, but that doesn't mean they're in excellent condition. So if there is a pantograph missing on the Swallow thingy, and you know, there's the odd bit of damage, but nothing too bad. So yes, we're going to get them going now. Now, just a little tip for you guys who run DCC: don't buy your Hornby track clips. I just bent up some tough old wire, stuck it in there, cheap as chips. I don't bother with Hornby track clips. Absolutely waste of time. Well, they're not a waste of time, they work, but they're just expensive for what they are. So here we go, the Class 25 unweathered. It isn't officially DCC fitted, but I'm assuming you can get one. Wrong way, here we go. Change the point. There we go. And this is the rat, as we call him. And there he goes. Lovely. Pulling cars and wood. Right, we'll get that going. Just a few quick shots of each one this time. And then we'll move on. Well, there's no particular story behind my Class 25. Most of my engines, especially diesels, do have a story behind them, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to let this one run. But obviously I'll tell you the stories behind each engine when I get them out. Very definitive front. Alright, we're going to keep the Class 25 running on that line, provided that those massive wagons don't come off. And if they do, I'll just stop her there, I won't mention it again. But this next loco here is a bit of a weird one, I will say. Very good runner, not very powerful, but sounds absolutely brilliant when she runs. Don't know if you can hear that. Let me stop the class 25. Hear that? It's a beautiful sound. Now I did get her boxed, and she is lit, but she's not Hornby or Backman or anything like that. I think she's Atlas or something like that. I'll post in the description what she is actually. Get her going a bit quicker now. But like I say, she's a good runner. She does sound a bit rickety when she's running, truth be told. But she's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong. And yes, she has got a headlight. But the running mechanism is very bizarre. And very effective actually. But yeah. I did say it was mostly passenger stock today. But obviously she's pulling a load of gas behind her. And I did try with some passenger stock, but obviously she's not designed for that. She just looks much better pulling freight, which is what she's doing now. And I will crank her up to a bit of a higher speed for you, just so we can see that light. So I'll do that now. I'll reverse her back, and we'll see if we can catch that light on a bit brighter, shall we? Stop her there, quite abruptly. Now there's no diode in there, so the light is on whether she's going frontwards or backwards. Oh dear, well she's left her rolling stop behind. Never mind. Yeah, you can't really see the light. But yeah, these are the couplings that she came with. Well, obviously, I ain't putting her with that crap. So yeah, she's got slightly different couplings on the back. Not particularly effective either. Well, some of them are. Thanks, Backman. But yeah, that's that. Right, I'm going to stop her right where she is there. Alright, so she's sitting in the siding, which starts up here and ends on the other side of the station. So what I'm hopefully going to do is throw open both the points and exchange them, stop them both, and then swap the points again and carry on. So this is the DC circuit. So obviously we don't have the luxury of controlling them individually. God, it's hard to do it when you're not actually looking. Now let's hope that they both have the same polarity. Looks like she needed warming up after all, guys. Those of you with modern railways of your own, you'll know that that's often the case. But there is quite a bit to say about this engine. She's lit, that's the first thing, and she's produced by Mainline, which some of you, or most of you I would imagine, will know is now owned by Backman. And something irritating that Mainline as a company used to do, especially with this engine, is the gear that is attached to each of the axles on the power bogie. I don't know if it's that one or not, it might be the other one. But the gear that's on each axle, so there'll be two of them, isn't glued on. It's just applied, friction. It just relies on friction to turn the wheel set. And that's fine, but when they get older, like this one has, with it being Mainline, it's going to be fairly old. Wear and tear occurs, and basically the gears weren't gripping, the axle. So you'll hear the motor run lovely, but nothing happens. Either that, or it won't pull more than a coach or two. And so thanks to the guy who sold me this on eBay, because I got it very cheap, and as you know now, it's running perfectly, because I've glued the gears on. You have to be very careful with doing that, because obviously the glue could get everywhere and ruin all the internals. But having done that, I don't know why. It might just be to do with the way I position the gears in their new position, but she runs very nicely, very smoothly, but she's got the most beautiful diesel sound you've ever heard. In a way, it's not, it's not going to be as good as DCC sound is, but I'll try and let you hear her now. But she has got a brilliant sound. It's a good start. Come on. Listen to that. Now they are Super 4 coaches, so they're not going to do so well on the points, but if I keep the speed sensible, there shouldn't be a problem. Right, I'll let you listen to her as she comes by. I think you'll agree that if you've had one of these, you'll know they are fairly quiet, and it didn't sound like this when I first got it. So I don't know if it's with all of them and I've just managed to restore it to working order, or whether I've managed to, you know, make it do something that it didn't used to do. It certainly does sound good. There we go. So yes, not perfect, but you know, she's in mint condition in terms of body, I'm sure you'll agree. And so that's number D824, for those of you who are interested. So now we'll get the classic 125 out. I don't know if you agree that it's classic. I probably would. And yeah, we'll do that. So what I think I'll do is I'll unplug the DCC line, and I'll transfer this loco onto there. And I'll put her in the siding so we can still run the class. Well, we can't run the class 25. There she goes. And I'm surprised she cut out when I actually started to run her, actually, because she normally handles, you know, dead spots rather well, but obviously not this time. So anyway, now for the Intercity 125. Now I know for a fact that this engine's going to need warming up. I know that for a fact. But I'm not going to open up all these sidings because it's just a faff. And so it's actually parked on the auxiliary route, which leads all the way around here, past the new TalkTalk router box. Thank you TalkTalk for that, it's about time. And open this point. Now, providing you don't forget to change it back again, that's an absolutely fine thing to do. Obviously, those of you who know a fair bit about electronics, LEDs are the way to go with the Intercity set. Because obviously if you use LEDs, you don't need to include a diode. And if you'd like the lights to stay on, you know, all the time, forward or reverse, then a filament is the best idea. But both can be achieved with both possibilities, so it doesn't really matter. But like I say, this Intercity set will need warming up. And I'm saying that because I've just switched it on and nothing's happened. So we'll give her a nudge, see what happens. Either that or I've just totally done it wrong. Tell you what, I'll try the other controller. Ooh, it is a pain. Oh, perfect. Thanks for that. That was great. But I'll use this opportunity to show you that the light on this end looks good. There you go. Right, let's push her up. There we go. Right, let's do it again. And go. She'll need warming up. Apologies for the very unrealistically wiggly track just there. Never mind, eh? Right, we'll wait for her to come round and I'll tell you the story. Okay, this story is not necessarily about the loco itself, but it's about how you should use eBay. Because the person who sold me this on eBay didn't know how to use it. And I say that not to be horrible, but because they didn't actually list this item correctly. It was listed under some other kind of collectible, and as a result no one really bidded for it. So I got this with, it wasn't with as many coaches as it has now. I'm not using all my coaches, so yeah, it is as many coaches as there are here, maybe minus one. But anyway, there were 5 coaches, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches, I reckon there were 4. So it came with the dummy car, the power car, and all the coaches. And I got the whole thing for £10, just because it wasn't listed correctly. And those of you will know that, you know, a big set like this, in good condition, is worth more than £10. It's not, you know, it's not worth a lot, but it's certainly more than £10. And to say it was lit at the time as well. Obviously I've had to replace the backlight with an LED because the filament busted when my controller had a frenzy. But, you know, it's still not a bad price. So we'll get the Intercity running for you now. Here we go. And she's a fabulous runner. And in true, you know, in true fashion, she really does need to warm up before she'll run right. Which is why she's struggling now. But the lovely thing is, I haven't changed the point, I'll go do that now. The lovely thing is with this engine, even when she has warmed up, she runs perfectly. So that sort of, it means that I in fact enjoy the fact that she doesn't run very well to start with. And after a couple of minutes warming up, she runs perfect. I quite enjoy that, because it's a bit of realism. Alright, it's not intentional, but it is realism. Right, here we go. Let's get some nice shots. We'll go nice and quick, I reckon. And we're going to pull her in at the front here. Bring her to a nice gentle stop. And you know, for a 40-year-old engine, that stopped pretty nicely on this track. And yeah, that's the Intercity engine. Now for some more Intercity action. As cheesy as that sounds, we're going to get the old Swallow out. But not until I've changed the camera battery, so I'll be right back in a sec for that. Alright, see you soon. Okay, so during my little break, I put the Intercity back into its siding. And I've set up the points ready to take out the Intercity Swallow, which isn't lit, incidentally. But it has got quite a nice sound to it. It's got a good electric sound to it. We'll get that going. Here we go. Now there's not really too much story to go with this one. It's fairly average. Here she comes. But yeah, nothing special about this one really. Just your average loco. Restored her about 3 weeks ago. Nothing wrong with it, just not been used for a bit. Needed a bit of oil. Needed a bit of everything really. But like I say, this is missing a pantograph. Which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. And I've no idea how old it is, but looking at the motor, it's fairly new. But then again, it is in virtually mint condition. There's the odd scratch. Obviously, the pantograph seriously detracts from that. But the coaches are great. The odd dint. Yep, that is definitely a dint. So yeah, the roofs are the worst part, but the coaches are in generally excellent condition. The thing I love about this engine is that you've got like the window at the back, which you normally don't get. So it doesn't really. Whereas with this Intercity set, it looks daft if it's pulling, you know, freight or whatever. But this one can get away with it because it looks quite cool. But even so, we'll get her going. And hopefully we'll have a look at her go around. Here we go. Does look lovely going round. Certainly a very distinctive livery on this engine, that's for sure. But a beautiful one, that's for sure. Alright, we'll stop you there. Put that back into the siding for you. Not for you specifically. Flip the point and I'll put it back in. Oops. I do have to go quite slow through these points normally. They are a little rickety. But with a sensible speed, they're normally absolutely fine. Just put the loco in there so it's protected. And now, as promised, class 31. Lovely engine, as you can quite clearly tell. And we'll get her running. So here we go. I think this engine may be Lima. Whatever it is, it's not very good at keeping its coaches. We've got those old tin plated coaches on. Okay, once again, here we go. Not quite ideal, was it? But we got there in the end. But this is an engine I'd quite like to convert to DCC. It is a very nice engine. Runs very nicely. Very smooth. Never cuts out on points. It's generally a very good runner. Once again, I believe it's Lima, but it's not forced to be. Traditional shot here. Another nice sounding diesel there, definitely. We'll bring this into the sidings once again. In fact, no, it won't. Since this is the last one, or second to last one, I should say, I'll bring it out onto this line. Nice and slowly, so as not to wake the warship up. As you can see, his lights popped on there. And I'm hoping he won't kick into action. No danger of that. Bloody thing. Anyway. Yeah, I think he needs a lot of current to run actually. Doesn't normally run when there's more than one engine on the line. Anyhow, now it's time for this lovely two-piece DMU. I'm not going to spend too long looking at it, but this is our last section of this video. I realise it's been a long one. But yeah, open these points. That's done. Open another set of points. And shut the last one. So shutting these, opening these, and everything else is set up. So, wrong way. Now the weird thing about this DMU is that both units have a motor inside them. Instead of one motor running, it's actually two, which I certainly find interesting. So if one cuts out, the other one doesn't. which is pretty good. And yes, I did put that light in, which is why it's ridiculously bright. Right, let's go. Once again, not much of a story behind this DMU, but when I got it, it was totally burnt out, totally knackered. But as you can see now, it's really quite happily running. Seems to race along this section for some reason. I don't really know why. I suppose it likes to race along the main straight because it's so, well, it's closest to the power supply, isn't it? So it gets the least voltage drop. Anyway, we'll stop that towards the end of the line. Not really the end of the line, it's a circuit. About there. I'll let you have a quick look. Again, the detail's fairly minimal really, but it's nice. Anyway, I did promise last time that we would be looking at this Lima creation. We haven't, and I'm sorry, but we will look at it soon. But for now, guys and girls, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this day of diesels. As I've said, you've now seen all my diesels apart from one, which is the other Class 25, but it's exactly the same, it's just weathered. I'm not really much of a diesel fan. I do like them, but I prefer steamers. And hopefully next time we'll be going straight back to them, like I normally do. But for now, guys, thank you very much for watching. My name is Sam, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.